Hey guys, Romie here, so please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for The Real Housewives Season 9, Episode 13, If the Woods Could Talk. Look, they're still on the bus right now. They're still on the bus right now. You know, everyone's just kind of agreeing that at the end of the day, they're going to go and have a good time. This trip is about unity. This is about love, respect. And, so they get told what type of animals are going to be in the campsite, and they're looking at this like, wait a minute, lion, tigers, bears, oh no, oh no, 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 no. No, that's not what they have. They have squirrels, they have possible snakes, deer. They're already over it. I'm like, Sheree and Marlo are going to be the main culprits that aren't excited about this. The trip is split up into two portions. The first night, which is what they're on, is where they're going to camp out. And then the rest of the trip, they have their cabins. Now, since there are only 6 cabins, people have to share. So that in itself, that wasn't too bad because most of the people came paired up. So you see how that all worked out, magically worked out. But Marlo and Sheree have a conversation while they're in their cabin because Marlo was funny. Marlo was trying to get a room by herself. She was like, oh, I have bad gas. She ends up having a room with Sheree. But her and Sheree have this conversation of how Sheree's like, I'm going to keep it coy. I do know that someone, yes, someone said that Candy, you know, was a lesbian or suggested that Candy may be a lesbian. And we're like, look, we know that's not really the case, but I guess for show purposes, let's keep it going. Marlo's just like, oh, this is, oh, thank you for pairing me with this information. I appreciate it oh so much. They take their bus ride to the campsite, which is probably like a mile away, but they're glamming it out. So most of them aren't necessarily dressed to be walking a mile anywhere. They have to go and set up their own tents, which is funny because I believe his name is Tom, their campsite or camp leader, what have you. He's clearly going to help them out because it's like 2 hours later and their tents still aren't set up. Sheree's is set up, and I know Sheree, you know, she seems like, even though she doesn't really like the whole outdoorsy type of thing, she's the type where I need to prove myself on everything. So we know she got her some help. Look, the smart thing, what I would have done, be like, okay, Tom, no, stay back here. Stay back here. All right, they distracted. All right, go. Put it now. Anyway, now it's time for them to have the campfire. They're already kind of over it. Marlo is just like, oh my God, ugh, that's disgusting. What is touching me? Candy freaking out like, whoa, something moved. Oh, that was a light? Oh, no, doesn't count. Rachel's like, is everyone having a good time? Shout out to all of us for feeling accomplished for setting up our own tents. What? They're like, look, Phaedra, that's all well and nice, but what's going on with the next night? Well, that's Kenya. Kenya's job is to coordinate the next day. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. Now it's Ask Marlo time. It's Ask Marlo time. And this is when Sheree, not Sheree, this is when Phaedra sets it up. Phaedra says, okay, Marlo, so how do you glam, or whatever, glam camp? And Marlo has her, like, bejeweled and Swarovski crystal studded everything. Flashlight, off spray, and then it goes from that to, so what's the next fashion trend aside from Hamilton? I said, really? Come on now. But things took a turn because Lauren goes and wants to inquire, so what happened between you and Kenya, Marlo, because you said you weren't friends anymore? And Marlo says, Kenya didn't invite me to her housewarming nor her birthday party. And Kenya said, well, I can respond to that. I did apologize for that because that was wrong with me. I apologized multiple times. And I'm thinking, she apologized multiple times in that scene. So we will give it to Kenya that was the case. Marlo didn't have to accept it, which clearly she didn't. And the thing about that is, Marlo, you know, she's clearly still hurt and offended by that because someone who she thought was a really good friend of hers, turns out that's not truly the case. Y'all are cool, and Marlo clarified, I know we're friends, friendly. I was cool with her, she was cool with me, but it still hurt. And then Kenya's just like, oh, come on now. But then Marlo decided, you know what? It's time to pull Marlo out. It's time to pull Marlo out. It's interesting, Kenya, but the thing is, you know what, Kenya, I'm done with you. You need to go and get a dermatologist. You need to stop, you know what's a trend that needs to stop? The fake eyelashes, because, not stop, but the oversized eyelashes because yeah, you're always a little bit too much. Along with that, so the dermatologist, the eyelashes, um, what was it? She can't keep a broke man. I'm like, dang, Marlo, is it that serious though? And everyone's just cackling away because remember, most of these women don't like Kenya. At the core of it, most of these women don't like Kenya, so they're definitely not going to do anything to step in until Marlo says, you know what? And I can see why I would have a problem with you because even your own mother doesn't like you. So how? I was like, and there we go. And that's when people are like, Marlo. Marlo, Marlo, we were here for you. We were right there. We were right there. I'm thinking, none of this makes sense because if someone's really your friend, even if you decide, you know what, we can't be friends, you're supposed to back away from the situation and tell yourself, no, I can't do it. This is too much. You're fake. You're phony. It is what it is. I don't accept your apology. That's it. Move on. Not this whole, oh, you have bad skin. Oh, you can't keep a broke man. Oh, not even your mother likes you, so why would anyone else, or how could you have a good relationship with anyone else? Like, damn. I don't care what the facts are. I care that I'm thinking, did what Kenya did to you, did that really warrant that? I get it. Kenya does so much, and so if this is the universe's way of it coming back to her in some way, shape, and fashion, it is what it is. I'm not God, so I don't know if that's the case or not. What I do know is I'm like, dang, Marlo. We were all could have been like a chuckle here, a chuckle there, until that whole mom thing. And so then that's when, you know, Phaedrus is like, look, here's how this works. Because there's two sides to the story. The second part of that story was Kenya was saying how this is interesting. So you're talking about that, but what about, you know, people need to stop being prostitutes and prostituting for money? Like, now why did Marlo not deny that? I'm looking at Marlo like, Marlo, I don't care if it's true or not. Just like what Phaedra says. Phaedra said, we need to stop calling each other bees, hoes, degrading each other, calling, if you're a prostitute, then she didn't say more power to you, but she was like, if you're a prostitute, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging how you live or get your money. That's not my problem. And Marlo's like, right. I'm like, wait, what? Was that like some shady Bravo editing, or did she really just say, oh, did I? What? See, but they're going to agree to disagree. Sheree decides she's not going to bring up the thing of Candy possibly being a lesbian. I'm thinking, good. Don't do that right now because no one's going to be here for it. Everyone's getting up from their morning routine. They come together for breakfast and they're told what they're going to do for today, which is Kenya's turn to set up the events. It's going to be, of course, activity filled. But before that, we need to get through some of the muck. You know, we need to go and clarify a couple of things from last night. And Marlo apologizes. Because Marlo actually left the campsite. She left the campsite and she walked to, like I said, it couldn't have been that far, but she walked back to the hotel room, the lodge room, and she made the excuse of, oh, you know, I've been drinking those flat tummy teas, and because of those flat tummy teas, I had to go. And I had to go that latrine wasn't going to work for me. It wasn't. The great thing about all of this is Marlo apologizes. I know some people just are going to be like, oh, Mara shouldn't apologize because if she said it, she said it. But no, if you said something and you felt like you went too far, then there's nothing wrong with the apologizing. And that's what Marlo does. She's like, Kenya, nothing you said or did to me warranted me going at you like that. So I do apologize. I think Kenya, if I'm not mistaken, might have actually apologized first. Yeah, she apologized first to say, you know, I'm sorry that stuff hurt you. I honestly didn't know that it was going to hurt you that bad. I was wrong. And so Marlo's just like, look, I thought we were closer, and so it did hurt me, but nothing warranted me going at you like that because that doesn't even make sense. We're supposed to be friends. I shouldn't be saying things like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that what you said. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Marlo, whoa, ooh, too much, too far. So I'm glad that they worked it out. Now, speaking of working it out, now Kenya decides, okay, so Phaedra, because, you know, the producers want me to ask, I really don't care that much. How's your, I get it, she's the one that's going to bring things up this season. How is your divorce going? Well, you know, it's still, it's doing what it does. Everyone's looking at her like, oh, wait, but your divorce proceedings have been going on for a while. And this is when Candy interjects and says, wait a minute. I heard something about, and of course we know who she heard this um, from Mount Joyce. If your spouse gets incarcerated, that you could get divorced within 2 months. And Phaedra said, yeah, yeah. And there's like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, if your spouse goes to jail, you could get divorced in as quick as 2 months. Because Sheree just wanted to know. So it's like, tell me further detail. Uh, Portia to the rescue said, hold up, that is normally true, but the thing is, Apollo has contested the divorce, so that's why it's been going on for so long. That's the real situation. It's like, okay, cool. Cynthia says, since we're on the whole divorce train, here's how this goes. Mine is going to be finalized really soon. They're like, oh, yours went fast. I mean, yours went really fast. I know we're kind of sideways trying to clown um, Phaedra, but yours went really fast. Yeah, and Peter's not going to be there. He opted out of being there, and that was the closure for me. I'm thinking, okay, and Cynthia's crying, and everyone's trying to console her. She's like, no, I'm not crying, while she's slowly starting to cry. Marlo getting up to hug her, Candy trying to at least give her something for the tears that she knows will eventually come. And I'm thinking, I understand why you feel a certain way, and you did it for the right reasons as far as getting the divorce. But if Peter doesn't want to come because you're divorcing him, and he's like, yo, this can't even be life right now, then he should be the one that wants closure, because even though you did both himself and you a favor, y'all know what I'm saying. He has opted not to come. That's his right, so we're going to move on because you divorced him. Now, they have to go some version of kayaking. They have to get in lake water, and lake water is disgusting. Well, not all lake water, but most lake water is disgusting. I can promise you that. I live by a lake. The water, because of that, green. I went in that water. I have sensitive skin. I went in that water. I broke out. I broke out in less than 30 minutes. The water may have touched my face once, broke out. I said never again, and never again. Lake water is nasty. So when everyone's getting in there, they're paddling. Candy got into the 3-seater, and she was in the middle, so she didn't have to paddle. Mind you, when Sheree wasn't ready. So when they got in with Phaedra and Cynthia, the boat started trucking water, and she was like, oh my god, this is disgusting! That touched my, no, that touched my leg! Oh, that touched my sneakers! Oh, it got me wet! Oh, it got my boat wet! And I'm thinking, Sheree, I can't say anything because I feel you, that water's nasty. Sheree's just like, I'm not trying to get no yeast infection. What's wrong with you, Lace? Why'd you make that water like that? What you doing? Sheree, I was here for every bit of your reaction. Now me, I would have done that on the inside, and everyone would have thought that would have been fine. So that's the only difference between us. But trust and believe, I would have felt the same way. Like, I'm not gonna let that nasty water, that stuff, poop and pee, and we get it. That's in everything. But a highly concentrated level, the fact that the water is so filled with stuff that it's green and possibly, that's nasty. That's nasty. Couldn't she did that on purpose. Now the next portion is they're going to do like a skydiving of sorts, and they have to go up in order, of course, to come down. And Cynthia was the only one, I believe, who didn't go up, if I'm not mistaken. Not everyone went and jumped off, mind you, but so of course Kenya went first. I think Candy's friend Hazel probably did it. Lord, because Hazel was the last person to go. So Candy also went. Candy had a good time. Here was the issue. Portia, now I have to give it to Portia because Portia was bugging out. Portia was like, not today, Jesus. Not today. I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing this tomorrow. She almost didn't do it. We have Hazel like, come on, you can do it. Everyone's like, you can do it. Calm down. You can do it. Just come down. You can do it. We got you. And she reluctantly, she jumped and was like screaming and borderline crying the whole time. And I was like, And I'm like, you're on the ground. You're on the ground. See, I would do that. I don't like the zip line because that's like a consistent descent slowly over time. But I will happily do that jump where it's just the jump and you're on the ground. I'll do that in a second because I like heights. So people think I don't like heights because I don't do things like zip lining. No, I love being high up. I just don't like the gradual feel of gravity telling my stomach, yo, 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 I'm playing tug of war with you. No, just drop me and I'm good. Drop me and that's it. No, go back up. Just drop me and I'm good. And so yeah, everyone came to support Portia because at first I was like, Portia, now you sound hysterical. But then again, if this was a real fear of yours and you just conquered it, shout it to you because you looked like you wanted to cry. You ended up crying, but it was because you did it. So, and everyone was there to support. Ken was just like, you know, give you a high five, you did it. Shout out to you. Everyone's just like, you know what? This was a nice building exercise. And I'm like thinking, oh, the love. So now it's dinner time. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a nice setup. Oh, the foil paper. I get it. The bugs. We didn't have, you know, nice ceramic covering. So we're just going to have to make do with what we have. The last two to show up is, of course, Sheree and Marlo. Why? Oh, yeah. I guess yes. If you guys are normal viewers of mine, see, I was like, I have the long hair now for what? This is actually, of course, it needs to get a little longer, but the hairstyle I had when I was a little kid. So I figured, you know what? Bring it back. Just come back. Anyway, they blessed the table because now Sheree and Marlo are there. They took this sweet time because Sheree's just like, I don't want no yeast infection. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you guys? Why would you guys want yeast infection? What are you doing? No, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. I was like, I had to wash the bugs and the maggots and all off me. Nasty, nasty. Now this dinner table, everyone's eating, so you're thinking, this is great. They're talking about how it's empowering and the support and the love and the sisterhood. Now we know that doesn't last for too long because the mess has to start. The mess has to start. And the mess is, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of jumped ahead and skipped ahead. I already told you about Kenya apologizing to Marlo and Marlo apologizing to Kenya. They did that at this scene. I skipped ahead and said that they did it, you know, at the breakfast table. So that was our mistake. But, you know, just rewind and, you know, but you don't have to because we already discussed it. The main purpose of this scene, though, was to get through the mess. The mess and the muck of it had to do with the fact that Marlo decided, you know what, it's time to bring up some mess. Candy. There are some things said that I feel like we need to go and clarify it. Candy, are you a lesbian? What? Yeah, are you a lesbian? Look, it was brought to my attention that you, that there was some interaction with some women. I don't know the full details. It's like, who would it come from? Now it gets passed over to Sheree. Sheree, you know, is trying to be coy and refer to how, you know, it was told to me that you were dibbling dabbling. And the whole time, I'm thinking, we are skating around this whole situation because Portia's just like, who talking? Who? We get it. Because Portia never said the word lesbian. She just did a general imply. So that's why she was like, oh, I know I didn't say lesbian. No, the streets have been talking about some other stuff because I was involved with them, involved with it as well. But that's a different story. I'm looking at Portia like, Portia, come on. And now it all comes out because they're like, Sheree, stop mincing words. Let us know who did it. Why don't you just let us know who did it? Since you want to be queen of mess. You want to be queen of mess and bring it all to the table. So Portia, oh! How's the one saying we need to go and put it out on the table? Is the one that was referring to it. Well, okay, Candy, so here's what actually happened. You know, I've never said that you were a lesbian. You know, what happened is Sheree and I were having a conversation, and I implied that, you know, there was some dibbling dabbling. And so it's like, look, okay, here's how this works. No, Candy's like, no, she's not a lesbian. She likes Todd's Union. I'm like, okay, we don't care. But and Phaedra keeps drinking. I mean, Phaedra was lit. Phaedra kept drinking and drinking. Like, look, don't say anything, Portia. Don't say anything, Portia. And Portia was doing a good job. She wasn't saying anything. Ooh, don't say anything, Portia. Uh, and the whole time they were doing back and forth to try and correlate how this whole thing happened. And essentially, because there's a second part to it, Portia was trying to put it back on Sheree, but it wasn't Sheree. Sheree's just like, I never said anything about Candy having any sexual encounter with a woman, like any graphic detail. I don't know her history. I don't know her like that. Candy the whole time is irritated and irked, like, so now y'all gonna talk about me, but it was weird because Candy was more upset that Portia didn't just come out and say, oh yeah, I did kind of say something like that, than what she was actually saying. And here's why. Because in the next episode, we do find out, well, I already knew, but that Candy and Portia had some dibbling dabbling. Because Candy said, you know what? I haven't done anything sexually with a woman that was no less than what Portia did. I mean, no more than what Portia has done. I'm like, okay. She was like, yeah. She was like, I tried it. There was no going all the way, but I tried it. I'm like, we know, Candy. We know. And Portia was trying to put it back on Sheree. Oh, you're trying to start drama. That is Sheree's job. Do we think that is the best job? No. Is it necessary for this show? Unfortunately, yes. It has your not your little friend, your friend over there, Phaedra, left you out to dry because, remember, now Shamiya is getting brought into the conversation at this point because it's like, oh, so you're trying to say that Candy hasn't dibbling dabbling with Shamiya? It's just like, no, that wasn't me. It's like, I'm thinking, so Phaedra, it's smart for you to stay out of this, but come on, you can't go and throw the rock. We understand, because Portia tried to clean it up. Whatever we say when we're trying to be messy, it doesn't correlate to how we really feel at the time. Come on now, let's not be 5-year-olds. And the conversation essentially ends there. The ladies go their separate ways. So it's Kenya, Hazel, Cynthia, and Candy in one room, and they talk about how, look, how is it that the one person who was partially responsible for all of it was quiet the whole time except for when her name was finally brought out? Wait, just go and be real. Say who it was. And it was you. It was you. You were part of the conversation, Portia. And then this is like, look, she gets aggressive. She gets aggressive. She's like an angry, aggressive lesbian when she drinks. And I was like, what? What? Wait a minute, what? Phaedra's just like, look, I just don't understand how all of this is brought up. It doesn't make sense to me. It's crazy. Because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be cool, kumbaya. You know, whatever said in jest, partially said is what it is. Marlo, it's just, Marlo, and Sheree just like, damn it, you really had to bring it out, but look, it's now all on the table. They called me messy, and yes, I'm a mess. I bring everything back to everyone else. I'm thinking, even though that's not cool, at the end of the day, this group, you can't go and just talk about people, and not expect it to come back to them. Like, come on now, really? You're on a show where it's being taped. Get over it. Alright, so please like, comment, subscribe, come back.